The passion plays that were staged by guilds are the most obvious place to look for influences on the evolution of the third degree of Freemasonry. This is especially pertinent as Freemasons claim that three ancient manuscripts, known as the Regius manuscript, written around 1390, the Matthew Cook manuscript of 1450, and the Dowland manuscript dated 1550, purport to show the medieval origins of Freemasonry. One of the first things the first three Grand Masters did in 1717 was to set about rewriting the degrees. Initially, it seems they started on the 2 degrees, but sometime around 1723, they decided to add a 3rd degree. The 3rd degree had not been introduced at the time of the Grand Mystery of Freemasons discovered in 1724, but much of the new content was in that expose. In a lecture given at Grand Lodge of York in 1726 by its junior Grand Warden, the speaker states, "Least to give great reason to conjecture that 3 in parts in 4 of the whole earth might then be divided into EP, FC, and MM. This suggests that the Master Mason degree was already known by 1726. The 3rd degree was given in total in the expose Masonry Dissected of 1730, so I deduct that the 1st degree was introduced around 1725. The reason for the necessity for a 3rd degree may have been twofold. Firstly, alchemy tended to be a 3-step process, and it seems that alchemical books were used as templates to write the degrees. For example, the Emerald Tablet refers to 3 parts of philosophy of the whole world. We can see this in an alchemical works that align closely with speculative Freemasonry, such as the Book of Lambspring and the 12 Keys of Basil Valentine. In the Book of Lambspring, we see the triple furnace at the beginning of the alchemist's quest. In Basil Valentine's The 12 Keys, we see the triple furnace separated out into 3, and plate 14 shows the triple furnace with alchemists preparing the philosophical dew. Underneath is an inscription in Latin. It says, "Pray, read, 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 and read again. Labor and discover," with 2 alchemists, each with a finger to their lips, indicating to keep this knowledge secret. In the early days of the Premier Grand Lodge, people believed that the organization was deist, which would put them at odds with the Protestantism of the time. Deism taught that the world was created by God, but that he then left control of the world to the beings he had created. So as both de Sagulier and Anderson were ordained ministers, they thought it appropriate to add a Christian morality play based on those enacted by the medieval guilds, probably believing it would protect the young fraternal society from prosecution by the authorities. This was a good move because later the British government introduced several new laws aimed at preventing sedition, especially with the memories of the 8 failed attempts by the Jacobites, the last being in 1759 to try and seize the British throne. In 1797, the Unlawful Oaths Act was introduced. Then 2 years later, because of the French Revolution, the British government became concerned with potential revolutionary conspiracies. And so the Prime Minister, William Pitt the Younger, introduced the Unlawful Societies Act. So I believe that the 3rd degree was added firstly to complete the alchemical 3-part process, and secondly to protect the fraternity from attack as being anti-Christian. Thank you.